If you're still living at home and you're thinking about moving out, I want to tell you the truth. Moving out at 23, it gave me freedom, but it also forced me to grow up faster than anything else ever had. Today, I want to talk to you guys about some of the lessons that I've learned since moving out on my own. Not because I have everything figured out already, because trust me, I don't, but because moving out, it taught me to become someone different. And it made me more responsible and it made me more disciplined. And honestly, it's made me more confident as a person. One of the first things I learned when I moved out on my own is freedom. Freedom is earned. Before moving out, I thought freedom meant doing whatever I wanted, doing things whenever I wanted to be doing it, no rules, no parent telling me what to do, no restrictions on my life. However, what I realized moving out on my own is I'm responsible for everything in my life. I'm responsible for putting the food in my fridge. I'm responsible for cleaning the apartment. I'm responsible for waking up on time and doing the things I got to do for myself. And if I don't do it, that's on me. So, with freedom, it comes responsibility. You're responsible for everything. Living alone, it teaches you something very quickly. If you don't do it, it doesn't get done. If your house is a mess and you don't clean it, it stays looking like a hot mess. If you don't put food in your fridge and don't cook anything, then there's no meals getting served. If you don't wake up on time, then that's on you. Nobody's going to be handling your problems. Nobody's going to be handling your life besides you. So that's one of the most important realizations that you can have. Nobody in life is ever going to save you. You're responsible for your life. When you live with other people, it's very easy to blame them or blame your environment on why you can't do things. When you live alone, everything is reflected on you. I remember when I lived back at home and I wanted to be in shape and I was going to the gym and I was training, but I couldn't always control what was being cooked in the house. I was just grateful to have a meal. However, when I moved out, cooking the right foods that were for my goals, for the person I'm trying to become, that's on me. And that applies to everything, really. So essentially your habits are a reflection of you. And when you're living on your own, your space is a reflection of you. If your life is a mess, your environment is going to show that to you. And especially if you're not taking care of your environment, how are you going to take care of everything else in your life? Your environment, it's a reflection of your habits. One thing that nobody ever talks about is how lonely you can get when you're living on your own. At first, it's very strange. It's weird. It feels awkward, especially if you grow up in a household where everybody's talking and chatting all the time and it's loud. I know when I lived at home, the dogs were constantly barking. Everybody was always talking, and it was kind of hard to have that peace and quiet. However, when you move out, it's not always peace and quiet. However, the alone time, the time you may have been looking forward to, it could be a lot. It might feel weird, but then you get to embrace it. You get to fall in love with it. And then you start doing things that you could have never done before. Learning to think by yourself, reading, working on yourself with no restrictions, and you get to build and grow. The person you are, when nobody else is around, it's a reflection of the person that you are. Listen, there's been times throughout this whole thing, even to the point I'm at now in my life, where I question myself if moving out was the right decision for me. When you have bills and you have rent to pay, if I could have stood at home, I would have been saving a lot more money and I would have had a lot less stress. However, this taught me something very important. And every challenge that I've been facing thus far, it's been making me a lot stronger as a person. And usually, all the uncomfortable things in your life, it makes you stronger and into the person that you're meant to become. Looking back on this whole experience now, moving out, it really wasn't about getting my own place. It taught me to be accountable for life. And it taught me responsibility, discipline, and more importantly, how to stand on my 2 feet. So while I still have a lot to learn, I'm grateful that I took those steps. If you're thinking about moving out right now, do not do it because it looks cool on social media. It's going to reveal to you the truth. The truth is that your problems, they're not going to disappear. It's going to reveal who you are as a person. And if you're willing to learn from that, then it could change your life forever. And on that note, guys, if you like this video, please do me a favor and like and subscribe. And I post videos weekly, so stay tuned for the next one. On that note, I'm out. Peace.